Most founders think they are the engine of their business. In reality, they're actually the emergency brake. You've built something that makes money, maybe a couple of 100,000 or maybe $1 million or more, but along the way, you've also built a cage. And you're terrified to turn your phone off for even 2 hours because you're convinced the whole thing will catch fire if you aren't there to hold the extinguisher. You call it having high standard, I call it a hero complex. And it's the single biggest reason you haven't hit 8 figures yet. So as we move into this year, the market is only getting faster. If your business depends on your physical presence to function, you don't own an asset. You own a high-pressure job where you happen to be the most expensive employee. And what went wrong? It's your lack of systems. The CEO trap. How your hero complex is killing your business and your life. You see, you aren't actually a perfectionist with high standard. You're a bottleneck with control issues. Because if your business requires your magic touch just to keep customers happy, you don't own an asset, you own a cage. And your refusal to let go isn't protecting your brand, it's starving it of the ability to exist without you. So right now, you're paying full-time salaries for a team of observers who are effectively waiting for your permission to breathe. And you're paying for their time, but you're doing all their thinking. So you must stop viewing quality as a personality trait and start viewing it as a documentation variable. Now, a personality-led business dies when the founder's energy runs out, but a process-led business scales to 8 figures because the excellence is written in the code, not stored in your head. Now, imagine a team that executes at 95% of your level without you saying a single word. And that is exactly where your freedom begins. Now, to solve this, we implement the 10-80-10 principle. You spend the first 10% defining the vision and the commander's intent, the clear outcome you want. Your team executes the middle 80% without your interference, and you return only for the final 10% to provide the expert polish. And this shift moves quality from being a personality trait to a documentation variable. A personality-led business will die when the founder's energy runs out, but a process-led business scales to 8 figures and beyond because the excellence is written into the code. Now imagine a team that executes at 95% of your level because the system is the boss, not you. And that is where freedom begins. Beyond the mental load, there is a financial reality you need to face. You are currently the highest paid janitor in your company because every time you step in to save the day on a $20 task, you are stealing $2,000 an hour thinking time from your future self. You are effectively paying yourself minimum wage for the privilege of feeling busy. While you're firefighting emails and Slack messages, your competitors are building the strategic partnerships and acquisition channels that will eventually put you out of business. So you have to move from maximizing effort to maximizing leverage. And the operator measures success by how much they personally did today, but the architect measures success by how much the business produced while they were offline. So when you stop asking, how do I do this? And start asking, what system ensures this gets done? You buy back 20 hours a week to focus only on the moves that actually double your revenue. Now, the system to fix this is the CEO Freedom Map. You must audit every task you do and plot it against 2 axes, the replacement cost and the revenue impact. If a task is low cost to replace, but high impact like customer support or basic sales, it must be offloaded this week. And you must move from maximizing effort to maximizing leverage. When you stop asking, how do I do this? And start asking, what system ensures this gets done? You buy back 20 hours a week required to double your revenue. Now, the solution isn't just hiring more people. You have to stop hiring people to fix your mess because hiring into chaos only scales the chaos. Most founders hire an A player hoping they'll be the savior. But even an A player dropped into a broken system with no SOPs will either quit in 60 days or become a frustrated B player just to survive. You end up wasting tens of thousands on recruitment fees and training that never sticks because the training is just you talking in circles. You get trapped in a cycle of hiring, hovering, and starting over. And the shift is learning to hire for the seat, not for the savior. A people-led business relies on finding miracle workers, whereas a system-led business relies on predictable architecture that makes average people perform like superstars. So you need to build an operational OS where roles are clearly defined and KPIs are tracked automatically, allowing the business to scale through duplication rather than founder-led miracles. Now, the implementable system here is the weekly scorecard. You must move from managing people to managing the number. Every person in your company should have 1 to 3 leading indicators they are responsible for. If the number is green, you don't need to talk to them. But if the number is red, the system tells you there's a problem before it becomes a crisis. And this shift allows you to hire for the seat and not for the savior. A system-led business relies on predictable architecture that makes average people perform like superstars. So you build an operational OS where roles are clearly defined, allowing the business to scale through duplication rather than the founder-led miracles. Now, to help you exit the day-to-day, we use what I call the Master Growth Blueprint, and it's the exact mechanism we use to scale an 8-figure business, and it follows a 4-step filter and transfer logic. First is the audit filter, where we list every micro task you do and flag anything that doesn't require your specific vision for removal. Second is SOP extraction. We don't write manuals, we record the reality. We use AI to turn your brain dumps into step-by-step logic that any team member can execute. Now third, we build a feedback loop. We create a dashboard so that if you ever have to ask your team, how's it going? You know your system is broken. You should be able to see if the business is winning in 30 seconds without talking to a single human. Now finally, we execute the handoff, moving you from the role of the hero to the role of the board member. So imagine waking up here in Singapore, heading to the gym and checking your phone only to see that 3 major problems were solved while you were sleeping, and none of which required a second of your input. Now that is the dream scenario, and that is how you actually scale. And scale is not about doing more, it's about being needed less. So if you enjoyed this content and you are ready to scale smarter, or if you want to learn more details of our next workshop, so stop being the hero and start being the owner.